have in your hand over there, Lux?
Well, you know, Kresk, remember the old Perry Como show where they sang a song? It said, letters, we get letters.
Yeah, yeah. They used to hear the voice of Frank Gallup in the background,
That's
you know,
right.
hovering.
Well, we couldn't afford Frank Gallup, but we do get letters. And we thought in this segment, we'd ask you to answer a few, and the producers have gleaned a few questions from
And you
the
have some
letters.
questions to ask me?
I do, as a matter of fact.
And that's the way it was all planned, huh? Before Lux, come on. Why don't we just put the letters away? No, Lux, I'm going to ask you some questions.
Oh,
that was really...
Wait, what is
Yeah? I thought it would be interesting, Lux. He doesn't know about this, but I thought maybe we'll find out, you know, about you and what makes Lux tick a bit, because he worked with me. I guess it's been 81 shows now, not only here in Canada, but out in England.
Right.
Now, I got to ask you, Lux, are you a skeptic about the field, or do you have mixed feelings, or what? How do you
No, I'm not a skeptic about it, because I think too many things have happened that have proven certain things, so I don't think one can say this cannot happen.
Yeah.
And over the years with the guests that we've had, we've seen them prove it almost.
You know, I'm thinking of what Lux was put through. You had needles pushed in you.
I had a little acupuncture.
He had to hold a chicken because I was going to try to immobilize it.
And we went up in a helicopter one night.
Do you remember that? Anything that may have happened that you found particularly exciting or unusual? Aside from lying on the table and having a chiropractor insert you.
Wondering what was going to happen next. Oh, I guess taming that rooster was kind of fun, yeah. And going out in 10 below weather while you were in here.
Oh, that's right. You went
worked
outside.
That very well, didn't you?
Yeah, well, after the first experience with Bill Shatner, I thought you better go out this time, and I'll stand out there. And now I'm going to teach you something.
You're going to teach me?
Yeah, I've never done this. I'm going to teach you how to do a simple
effect in Vegas.
Come over here. Come over here. A simple effect, you know, no thought reading, because that kind of gets You can put the letters away, Lux.
This was very sneaky. They gave me all sorts of questions to ask you. And
I know. I was saying, how's Lux taking it? And Phil Thomas, who's our associate producer, he says, you know, I had to meet with Lux to discuss all this. He said, little does Lux realize that it has nothing to do with the program. Well, I'm going to show you. You know how I've cut with aces from time to time, and really the way I've done it, Lux, is that I just have a sensitivity in my fingers. I can feel the position down of numbers of cards. I can't read a card by my thumb, but I can feel depth. And this is a straight deck, and I'm going to have you try cutting to something rather interesting. I'm going to have you try to cut to the 4 aces. Now, I spent spent 7 years working on this effect myself to do it, but having you do it's a different thing. Cut the deck into 4 piles.
All right. 1, 2.
Lux hasn't had practice, I can
3,
tell.
I can tell.
All right. You want to put that one kind of here to...
Yeah, all right. There we go.
Lux, so far, I got to tell you something. No, that isn't an ace.
No.
That's kind of... That's not too... How about taking maybe a few cards from here and putting them on the pile on the right? Yeah, you got it. This is not too good. I mean, by now everyone's changed stations.
They haven't before. Okay.
How about taking, Lux, 2 cards from here and putting them over on that pile there?
Just 2 cards?
Just 2. All right, we got face down. Yeah, face down.
Right, I won't look at them.
No, hold them down, tilt them forward, and put them over
nervous
there.
here.
All right. Now, Lux, how about putting a card from here to here? I think the audience saw that one. That was really intriguing. Okay. You better put another card from here to here.
Here to here,
yeah. Keep the card, put one card over here, face down. Face down here. It'd be great if he navigated this. I don't know, Lux. Turn over the top cards of each pile. Let's turn them face down. What's that? Turn over the next one. Yeah. Yeah.
An 8.
You missed there. You missed there. You missed on one. That's all right. It's a wild card. What's there? That's not bad. 3 out of 4, isn't it, folks? We'll be back after the following message, folks. I have a feeling you'd agree that if any of you were in trouble and really rapidly in need of professional help, that the person I'm about to introduce would be the first individual you'd think of calling upon, because he's the man from Uncle and the protector. Meet with me, Mr. Robert Vaughn. Well, nice to have you here, Mr.
Thank you so
Vaughan.
much. It's a pleasure.
Boy, Rick, you are one person, and it's not always true in television because the camera sometimes distorts
Yeah.
a person, but you're recognized and you know it. I mean, I'm sure you found that wherever you go.
Yeah, it happens.
In different languages.
Yeah, it's happened recently. In a matter of fact, the show, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., is now playing in Athens. And about 6 months ago, I was followed almost like I was in 1966 in Athens by camera crews and people. And it's very strange to have a kind of a change in time capsule that's happening again 7 years later in foreign countries.
Well, I'm going to show you an experiment, and I wanted to do it at the top of the program, and I didn't tell you what I was going to do. You don't know
No,
what
I don't
this is
know
all
anything.
And this is really not a card effect. As a matter of fact, I'm going to use a different deck of cards than the one that Bill Luxton so avidly handled and readily handled. And I'm going to take this in there. Just stay right here, Mr. Vaughan. Robert, may I call you Robert?
Yes.
Fine, stay right here. And, miss, would you shuffle these cards up? Brand new deck, totally new. You can thumb through it. Take the jokers out. The jokers wouldn't count. I think they already are out. There's one joker there. Fine. Take them out, and if you will, just mix up the cards, please. Give it a very... Oh, we got the joker right here. We can throw that in our favorite position. Get it out of the way. Just mix those cards up. You're not a little bit nervous, are you, miss? What's your name? Peggy. Mix them up a little bit more thoroughly. Yeah, that's good. Fine. You married? Maybe I can see... Maybe, Peggy, I can see you after the program. That might happen as readily. Now, Bob, I'm going to leave them in exactly the order that she mixed them in. I don't want to reshape the order. And it's kind of interesting because this situation here is something that I prepared. My staff hasn't even heard the entire tape. It's a small tape recorder. I think we can perhaps have a close-up of it. And you don't know you haven't heard it. Am I correct?
That's correct.
If I may, Bob, take the deck, hold it face down in your hands. Now, you'll have to address the table by moving forward. Deal with the deck face down, the cards off the top, face down, without showing them. Don't look at them. One here, one over here. You might as well put them side by side. 3, 4, keep them down, and 5. Now, that'll be just 5 cards we'll use for now. I think 5 is going to be difficult enough. Now, Bob, you don't know the cards. I'll put them in my favorite filing area. They told me to hear this, and that's my problem, that I have to set it. I hope we can hear this on camera. There we are.
Robert Vaughan, this is Kreskin.
Is that loud enough, folks?
And while I am taping this, a couple of days before your participation,
I thought it'd be appropriate to the
you'll be
man
hearing
from
this
U.N.C.L.E.
on my program. I'll be asking you to join me in an experiment. The nature of our test is so unique that at this moment
Whoop, I got a problem.
I'll give you a specific...
This moment I passed away. Here we are. There we go.
Before this recording was switched on, as you know, a lady was given a pack of playing cards to mix.
Now, these are the
And then the deck was
cards.
handed to you.
They are mixed.
You dealt 5 of those cards in a row on the table, face
5
down.
are face down.
These cards have been chosen at random, and at the moment, there's no
Temperamental.
one in the studio who knows what they are.
Well, none of us do know what they are.
Now, I would like you to face the row of cards and follow my instructions.
Okay.
I want you, Robert Vaughan, to hold your right hand above the row of cards. Move your hand to the end of the row and point at the first card.
And meaning this end.
Either end of the row will do. It makes
Sorry.
As I count to 5, I want you to move that finger along the row without touching it, back and forth. When I stop counting, bring your finger down on one card, any card you like. And it doesn't have to be the card your finger is over when I stop counting. It can be any card. All right.
All right. My battery's gone. Here we go.
2, 3, 4, 5. You have settled on one card.
Settle on any card you
One
want.
card at random. From among 5 that were chosen at random.
It's interesting.
I want now to tell you what's happened. Your hand wavered for a moment.
And it did.
But by the time I counted to 2, your finger had decided to come down on the 5 of spades.
There was a waiver at 2 about here, folks.
But on the count of it moved again, heading for a landing on the ace of hearts.
And that is where he landed, actually, folks. Push that forward, if you will. Let me show, keep your finger there, if you will. 5 of spades is where he paused at the number 2. We can show that the other cards are different, but if you will, I said the ace of hearts, which was the card that he would finally land on. Would you turn over the card, Robert? You hit it. There you are. That's Bob, you just completed, I guess it's the second series of The Protector.
We did 2 years of location filming in Europe and in England. We finished last April, and the segments that are now airing in America were the ones that we finished at that time.
Mm-hmm. Now you're in a play.
Yes, I've been doing a play in Washington, D.C., which we're going to tape, I believe, or film for one of the networks in America, and then we're going to take it on tour, at least to Chicago, San Francisco, and Los Angeles. It's a play by Tom Stoppard, who's a British author who wrote a very successful play called The Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead, which played on Broadway and also played in the National Theatre of England. And it's an odd play. You should never see it drunk.
Really? Does it need critical faculties
at all times? It needs critical
time?
faculties, yes, because we had an audience that arrived, the whole audience arrived drunk one night.
Do things like that happen in the legitimate theater, that an audience, Bob, takes on almost a character, like maybe sometime Monday nights the men are tired?
It's almost like having a single individual watching the show, some audiences. Matinees particularly, which are generally the ladies, older ladies, have an entirely different reaction to a piece of material than a nighttime Saturday night audience will. But this particular audience was a theater party of some 800 people who all were liberally fortified with booze when they arrived. And the play, both plays, deal with words. And they couldn't comprehend the words. Therefore, we spent 2 hours that evening on stage in a comedy with total silence in the audience.
That is devastating.
Totally silent.
Oh, my. Now, you know, you mentioned something. I understand this is going to be done more and more, that plays are going to be filmed for television.
Yes.
On the stage, Bob, or with a new situation?
They are trying and have succeeded so far in doing stage plays with the confines of a set, but they actually open them up a little bit more than they would do if they actually were filming the play on the stage. They use stage sets, but they use many different angles, which you cannot use if you're just photographing directly from the front in a theater. You've done
now, I know you've done a radio show for a year and a half, interview show in L.A.?
Yes, I was interviewing many people from all over the world, both in the studio and on telephone hookups to Ireland and
You ever
Japan
get some of the... I like L.A., don't misunderstand me, but there are some interesting characters out there. Did you get some of them on the show?
Well, I had them on the show. I had them in the studio. I had them calling in with the many very strong political opinions.
Oh, politics.
Yeah. Well, you have the almost the Bible Belt fundamentalist right wing of America in Southern California, in addition to the Bible Belt itself.
Well, of radio and then, of course, television, theater, movies, what do you enjoy the most, or what did you enjoy doing as a professional actor?
I would say I enjoy doing radio the most, oddly enough. I started out in radio as an announcer and a child actor on radio.
Whereabouts, Bob?
Well, in both Minneapolis and New York and Los Angeles.
You know, you answered a question that I had in my notes about, was it becoming difficult to shed the character or the image of Napoleon Solo? And I guess that will, thanks to reruns follow and could carry through one's life.
It's not difficult in motion pictures. Since I've finished The Man from U.N.C.L.E., I've done, I think, 8 pictures, and I've played everything but a secret agent in the movies. However, I still am pretty much asked to do spies or action-adventure shows on television.
We only have a few seconds, but some of the devices, because that was the forerunner of really the device.
It was the first one
and
of the gimmickry show,
were they all the imagination of a writer, or were some of them more realistic than people realized?
Well, oddly enough, the writers and the creators of the show created many things that they didn't realize actually existed.
I heard that, which made a few of the agencies
and they
a
later
little bit
found
upset.
out that some of the gimmicks that we had on the show that were strictly their imagination were being used by various agencies of the government.
I have not been able to open any doors with any buttons yet, though, folks. Well, when I come back, we're not going to show really any gimmickry, but we're going to show I think an interesting challenge to me in the mechanics of the mind, and Robert Vaughan's going to assist me as my subject. Be back in a moment, folks. I'm having Bill Luxton here help us with the material and the blindfold and so forth, basically because Robert Vaughan has now added more to his armamentarium, more as protection. These are gloves, simply because, folks, here we have a container of acid. I'm going to ask you, Bob, to unscrew the lid, and I'll use this. I guess my staff gave me this to kind of demonstrate that it's nitrous. Yes, it is. You can see it's steaming. It's nitric acid concentrate, and it's quite strong. I don't know what effect it'll have on the paper, but we'll just drop that in. And yes, oh my gosh, the paper, I guess you call that burning. I don't even know what that kind of effect is, but it's steaming. It is steaming on the paper, and importantly enough, I wouldn't want this on my hands because there it goes. There it goes. I don't understand what the effect is or supposed to be. I have a feeling it is. You can see it's steaming, though, Bob. Would you agree to that?
I'd agree to that. Yes.
It's steaming rather strongly. I'm going to ask you to place the lid on for the time being. I suffer from a condition without my glasses called blindness. And in England, when I was appearing there, one of the gals made a 4 cloth thickness blindfold. And Bob, you tell me, I'll place this over your eyes because I'm going to, as far as looking through the blindfold, there's no light that comes in at all. Am I correct?
Not a thing.
You can see, though, a little bit down, can't you? I think we've got, or is it even hard to then?
Well, not the size of my nose, I see nothing.
You're a great guy. Bob, would you do likewise and put that over my eyes and hold it there, please?
Yes.
If you will. Place it in position. Now, I'll be honest with you, folks. At this moment, I cannot, tie it, if you will, Bob. I cannot see, but I don't expect anyone to believe me. I really can't. Last time I did this with Don Farron, was it? We had on Bill Lux.
Don Harron, yes.
Don Harron. I needed some. I really can't see even down, but put the cotton there anyway,
Okay.
because there may be some skeptics, and you just judge for yourself, because at this moment I have a strange condition called total darkness. You can put a little
Put
bit.
that tape on there.
Yeah, put it all the way along here. Yes, there is a bit of light right here.
Right here?
You're going to have to do that, yeah? There's a bit of light right there. Not only can I no longer see there, Bill, but I can't breathe.
I see.
All right? Now, listen, Robert, Bob, I cannot get even time cues because I'm now pretty much
You got 3
in the
minutes.
dark. Would you maybe lead me to the right of the glasses, Lux, if you will?
Mm-hmm.
And, Bill, I'm going to ask you, all right, I'm going to ask you, Bill, Lux, to leave us for the time being so that Bob solely is my subject. Bob, would you fill with the pitcher 5 glasses with water, please, one at a time. But each time you put water in a glass, I want you then to cover it with some tubes, which are somewhere on the table, please.
Yeah.
Just place, but do not put the lighter tube over it. Put the blue tubes. I want each of the water glasses to be covered with a blue tube. Would you continue with the other glasses, please? And every time you have done this, place one of the remaining blue tubes until we've covered 5 glasses.
You have 2 minutes.
All right. Well,
2 minutes.
I'm gonna have you do it. We need to get all of them done, the 5, and when they are complete, let me know. That is when you've used up all 5 tubes, because in essence, the color of the tubes are for your vision, so that you know which are water, and consequently have in your mind marked. And of course, keep doing this until you're
I'm
finished.
done.
All right. Then, would you fill the final glass with the acid, please? And fill it to the top all the way. And this is, folks, acid. The whatever is pouring out of it in the form of steam is not just steam. It is the
done.
university that gave this to us very concerned. Would you cover that with the remaining tube? Would you tell me the color of that tube again? Because
The remaining tube.
the
color?
remaining tube.
That's
yeah.
a yellow tube.
All right. Now,
Yeah,
Bob,
1 minute.
Do me a favor. We're going to go over. Move the picture so it's out of the way, please, if you will. Bob, I will have to. You'll have to bring me to the turntable. Lead me forward to the turntable. Now, Bob, your vision will know which container has the acid. I want you to rotate the turntable, please, Bob. Rotate it. I don't think anyone could consider my knowing positions. Do not worry about time running out, because would you now place your hand on my right shoulder, your right hand, please, Bob? With your left hand, lead my hand down so it's over the containers. All right? If you let go, then I'm touching the containers. Now, do me this favor, Bob. Say nothing. I'm going to, if you will, I'm going to immediately uncover a container, and so there's no time for reaction from our audience or my staff. I will immediately empty that container on my left hand. I want you to think only no when I touch the acid container. If you will, take that glass away, please. I'll ask you to rotate this again, please. Place your hand on my left shoulder now, please. Just concentrate, say nothing. Just concentrate, say nothing, please. Don't rotate it any longer, please. Well, that has emptied. I realize I'm putting my hand in it. But I get an impression the same for both of them. I didn't break my glasses, did I? Did I?
No.
How many left, please, Bob?
3.
Oh, gosh, I'm sorry. How many left, Bob?
2.
You just have to take that, rotate if you will, rotate. All right, Bob, take your hand off my shoulder, but keep your hand about 6 inches from my shoulder, please. Is that it? Have we succeeded? Thank you, folks. Bob, would you take that off, please? Take that off. Pour that entire contents, if you will, on the paper. We'll show this on camera. Pour that on the paper over there, and that is still pouring heat. Just empty out the entire amount. Well, we can't, there is an effect of something. I was told there would be an effect, but that is steaming out, and I would not even have anyone put their hand in there because you'll have to rest assured it is acid. Ladies and gentlemen, I can only say this. My mental attitude has always been the most important thing in approaching an experiment such as this, and I must think positively. But no matter how positive I think, I must realize that even the mind can fail, no matter what its abilities. Thank God this is over with, and be the good Lord willing, I'll see you next week. Bye.